Before the world began to recognize her name, before the flawless images and confident presence captured attention across social media, there was a quiet determination shaping the life of Katian Zhou. Her story did not begin with instant applause or effortless success. It began with belief, persistence, and the courage to chase a vision that only she could see. In a digital age where attention is fleeting and trends change overnight, Katian Zhou's rise stands as a powerful reminder that authenticity, discipline, and self-trust can turn an ordinary beginning into an extraordinary journey. If stories of ambition, transformation, and inner strength inspire you, this is your moment to subscribe to Sweet Models World, where we bring you closer to the real journeys behind today's most captivating models and influencers. Katian Zhou's path into the world of modeling and digital influence was shaped by curiosity long before recognition followed. From an early stage in her life, she was drawn to expression, not only through fashion but through the way confidence could completely transform presence. Clothing, for her, was never just fabric stitched together. It was identity, emotion, and storytelling combined into a single visual language. Even before she understood the industry, she understood the feeling of self-expression and the power it held. Growing up, Katian Zhou experienced the same internal conflicts that many dreamers face. There were expectations, responsibilities, and practical concerns that often overshadow creative ambitions. Yet, deep within her, there was a persistent voice urging her to explore something more. She paid attention to detail, observed how people reacted to style, posture, and confidence, and slowly began to understand that modeling was not just about appearance, but about energy, presence, and discipline. Her early relationship with fashion was rooted in experimentation. She learned through trial and error, mixing styles, observing silhouettes, and understanding how subtle changes could create bold impressions. Without access to major platforms or industry connections, Katian relied on observation, learning from visuals, studying photographs, and developing a personal aesthetic that reflected her evolving identity. These formative years were crucial, shaping not only her style but her mindset. When Katian Zhou decided to step into the digital space, it was not driven by a desire for validation. It was a step toward visibility, a way of documenting growth and sharing expression with the world. Her earliest posts were simple yet sincere, reflecting authenticity rather than perfection. What drew people in was not polished glamour, but a sense of relatability. Viewers saw someone real, someone growing, someone daring to show up without guarantees. As her presence on social media slowly expanded, Katian became aware of the responsibility that came with visibility. She understood that influence, no matter how small at first, carried weight. Rather than chasing trends blindly, she focused on refining her own identity. She allowed her content to evolve naturally, reflecting growth rather than pressure. Each post became a reflection of her journey, not just an attempt to gain attention. Behind the scenes, the journey demanded resilience. There were moments of doubt, periods of slow growth, and times when comparison threatened confidence. Katian Zhou faced the reality that success in the modeling and influencer space often requires patience that few are willing to embrace. Instead of giving in to discouragement, she invested in self-improvement. She learned about photography, lighting, angles, and branding, understanding that mastery came from consistency, not shortcuts. What made Katian Zhou stand out was her discipline. While many focused on quick results, she focused on building a strong foundation. She treated her journey with professionalism long before the industry did. This mindset allowed her to approach every opportunity with seriousness, whether it was a personal shoot or a collaborative project. Her growth was steady, intentional, and rooted in self-respect. As her audience grew, so did her confidence. Not the loud kind, but a quiet assurance built on effort and experience. Katian began to embody the message she projected, encouraging self-belief, patience, and self-worth. Her captions often carried reflections rather than noise, resonating with those who are navigating their own paths. She did not present herself as perfect, but as someone committed to progress. Collaborations and recognition eventually followed, but Katian Joe approached them with discernment. She understood the importance of alignment, choosing opportunities that reflected her values and long-term vision. Rather than diluting her brand, she strengthened it by maintaining consistency. This approach earned her credibility and trust, both from her audience and within the creative space. The modeling world, known for its competitiveness and high standards, tested Katian's resilience. She learned that rejection was not a reflection of inadequacy, but part of the process. Each setback became a lesson, sharpening her focus and strengthening her resolve. She learned to separate self-worth from outcomes, a mindset that allowed her to navigate challenges without losing direction. As Katian Joe's platform expanded, she began to understand the deeper impact of her journey. She was no longer just sharing images. She was representing possibility. Young creatives saw themselves in her story, recognizing that success was not reserved for a select few, but accessible to those willing to commit to growth. This realization fueled her motivation, pushing her to be more intentional with her content and message. Her style evolved alongside her confidence. It became more refined, more expressive, and more aligned with her identity. She embraced versatility, understanding that true confidence lies in adaptability. Whether presenting elegance, minimalism, or bold expression, Katian remained authentic. This consistency allowed her to stand out in a saturated digital space. Beyond visuals, Katian Joe's journey is defined by mindset. She believes that growth begins internally and reflects externally. Her discipline, self-awareness, and commitment to improvement became the foundation of her influence. She did not chase validation but focused on value, a choice that shaped her long-term presence. Despite increasing recognition, Katian remained grounded. She often reflected on her early days, remembering the uncertainty and quiet determination that started it all. Gratitude became central to her journey, reminding her that progress was built on patience and persistence. This humility resonated deeply with her audience, reinforcing the authenticity they admired. In an industry that often emphasizes perfection, Katian Joe represents balance. She understands that beauty is enhanced by depth and influence is strengthened by integrity. Her journey challenges the notion that success must come at the cost of self-identity. Instead, she proves that staying true to oneself is not only possible but powerful. Today, Katian Joe stands as a symbol of modern modeling and digital influence shaped by effort rather than illusion. Her presence reflects growth, confidence, and purpose. She continues to evolve, exploring new creative opportunities while remaining committed to her core values. Her story is not about arrival but about continuous becoming. Katian Joe's biography is ultimately a story of courage. The courage to begin without certainty, to persist without immediate reward, and to believe in one's vision despite external noise. Her journey reminds us that the most meaningful success is built quietly, through consistent effort and self-belief. As her story continues, Katian Joe remains focused on growth rather than comparison. She understands that influence is temporary without substance, and she continues to invest in her craft and character. Each step forward reflects lessons learned and strength earned. If Katian Joe's journey inspired you, reminded you of your own dreams, or encouraged you to keep going despite uncertainty, stay connected with Sweet Model's World. This is where ambition meets authenticity, where journeys are celebrated, and where stories like Katian Joe's remind us that dreams are possible when met with courage, patience, and belief.